Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow room. And today, we finish our survey of overflowing Mendelssohn. That deserves another swat, don't you think? There we go. Yeah, this is the video number 11 in the Mendelssohn survey, and it's got like this really cool series in it on Chandos. Mendelssohn in Birmingham. That's like, Iphigenia in Brooklyn. He was very popular in Birmingham. And so these are all works that he played or conducted when he was in Birmingham. He went to England 400 times, and, he was absolutely feted as the greatest musical genius of his day, which actually he sort of was. And these are just works that are associated with that city. They happen to also coincidentally be all the symphonies and things that we know and love anyway. So what the hell? Volume 1. This is with the City of Birmingham Symphony Orchestra under Edward Gardner. And they're largely good performances. They're very fleet. They're exciting. They're kind of periody, instrumenty, influencedy, kind of. Sometimes I think they're a little bit too hasty, maybe a touch glib, dare I say it, but they're exciting, and most of the performances are quite enjoyable. We've got the Hebrides, yes, the Reformation and Italian symphonies on disc number 1. On disc number 2, there are 5, by the way, the Ruy Blas Overture, the Symphony number 1, which is a great piece. I just keep telling people, listen to that first symphony. Well, yes, it is kind of based on Mozart's G minor symphony. I mean, in terms of its themes and how it sounds and whatnot, but it doesn't matter. Well, it ends major. The Mozart doesn't. It really doesn't. And the ending is exciting. Wow. It's buzzing along in a minor key, going, then there's a pause, and then all of a sudden it turns into a completely unmotivated major C major and goes crazy at the end, and it's just great. And the Scottish Symphony, okay, all that's there, which is perfectly fine. Calm Sea and Prosperous Voyage. Once again, it's always worth pointing out that the calm sea is not a good thing. It's becalmed sea and prosperous voyage. Because remember, in those days when you were on a sailboat, you needed wind. And if you didn't have wind, you just sat there in the middle of the ocean and you drifted in whatever direction the ocean happened to be going. And if the wind didn't pick up, eventually you ran out of water and food and starved to death or cannibalized your fellow shipmates. So it's becalmed sea. And then when the wind picks up, which is what happens in the second half of the overture or in Beethoven's setting of the words of the Goethe poem, the pair of poems, that make the becalmed sea and prosperous voyage, then everyone's happy. That's the prosperous part, because the wind picks up and you finally get blown into port. Otherwise, you were in big trouble back in the day. So that's what this overture depicts. And it does it very, very, very well. It's fabulously well. So that's worth considering. It's not like Calm Sea and Prosperous Voyage. People think, it's so boring. Why would anybody write an overture about that? Sure, you want a calm sea so you have a prosperous voyage, but no, that's not what's going on. And then we've got the Lobgesang Symphony, which is beautifully performed and swiftly. It's exactly an hour long, with Sophie Bevan, Mary Bevan, I guess they're sisters, Benjamin Hewlett, and the City of Birmingham Symphony Orchestra Chorus, and all of those people. These are all SACDs, by the way. They're very, very well recorded. And then we've got the Violin Concerto, the famous one, with, Jennifer Pike violin, and the incidental music to A Midsummer Night's Dream, 40 minutes worth of it, with Rian Lois and Carrie Foog sopranos, and the CBSO Youth Chorus. Well, you should have a youth chorus for this piece because you've got little fairies and things bouncing around, right? So they should sound youthful. And they do. So there's that. Decent performances. And then this last is a disc of overtures. Now, these overtures are all the ones that I've already mentioned in this series, plus the ones I haven't. So you get the overture to St. Paul, Die schöne Melusine, the fair Melusine, and the trumpet overture, which I love. It's a fun piece that Mendelssohn never published or had anything to do with. His mother liked it a lot too. The overture to Athalia, and Ruy Blas, I think we talked about, didn't we, previously? Some of these are, like I said, they're a little bit hasty. I mean, I reviewed this disc on classicstoday.com. You can go have a look at that review because I was of two minds about some of these things. Gardner seemed in a hurry to get through them. And also on, the other discs, as I said, but the performances on the whole, if those are faults, they're sort of faults in the right direction because he makes the music very exciting and enjoyable. So, but it duplicates the overtures that you already had in volumes 1 through 4. So if you got volumes 1 through 4, do you really want just the few extra overtures? I'm not sure what Chandos was up to there. They could have done something else. I mean, he must have played something else in Birmingham. He just must have, So Die erste Walpurgisnacht or something else. But that's what they had. Okay. Now, what do we got? Oh, Harnoncourt. Yes, this is bizarre. Midsummer Night's Dream Overture and Die erste Walpurgisnacht, which is the reason I have the disc, of course. That is such a great piece. It's about the pagans, scaring away the Christians, and who are the interlopers in their realm. It's a good poem, and Mendelssohn worked on it for like 20 years before he finally polished it up enough to release it. And oh gosh, it's a beautiful work. It has a lot of the same sounds as the opening of the Scottish Symphony, but it's got a chorus and it has percussion, a little bit anyway, bass drum and cymbals. It's terrific. Then we've got, the Peter Mogg thing. Well, we've talked about this. We've talked about this in the Peter Mogg box. We talked about it back there. We've talked about it constantly. Peter Mogg's Scottish Symphony, Mendelssohn, Midsummer Night's Dream. Everybody thinks it's just the bee's knees. It's very good. It's very, very, very good on Decca. They're classic recordings. And this is fantastic. This is The Elijah to Own, actually. It's thrilling. With the orchestra of the Age of Enlightenment under Paul Daniel, it's kind of periody, but it's exciting as hell. It really is. You've got Bryn Terfel, who's an amazing Elijah. Renee Fleming is the widow. Patricia Barden, John Mark Ainsley is Obadiah. Libby Crabtree, Sarah Fulgoni, John Bowen is Ahab, Neil Davies. I mean, the singing is great. The playing is they really make this sound like a fresh, vibrant, dramatic, exciting thing. And that's what you want. It's just terrific. So that's amazing. And last but not least, this fabulous Klaus Peter Flor Mendelssohn box. This is a terrific deal if it's still around, if you could still find it. On RCA with the Bamberg Symphony. Flor is a terrific conductor. His Mendelssohn was excellent. You got the complete Midsummer Night's Dream with Lucia Popp and Mariana Lepolchek, who are amazing. Let's see. And then you get all the symphonies. And you get the Wedding of Camacho overture. And then a whole bunch of other overtures. Let's see. You get Calm Sea and Prosperous Voyage. And the big violin concerto with Kyoko Takazawa, who's a very, very fine violinist also, playing both violin concertos, the E minor and the earlier D minor one for violin and strings. Then you've got the piano concertos with Sergei Edelman, which are also very, very good, and the Capriccio Brillant for piano and orchestra, the Roy Bloss and Athalia overtures, and Die erste Walpurgisnacht. Yay! Walpurgisnacht, whatever. Yes, that thing that we just talked about. And then we've got 12 Lieder by Mendelssohn for high voice, that's tenor, and arranged for orchestra. Well, this is really fun. It's great. You've got like a miniature song cycle that they arranged for us with who's singing this? Dion Vandenwalt, tenor. He sings very well. And the Hebrides, Fingal's Cave, and the Trumpet Overture, which is wonderfully performed and brings the whole box of 6 CDs to a rousing conclusion with some stuff you just won't get anywhere else. A great way to end our Mendelssohn survey, I think. Just a remarkable, remarkable composer who wrote gobs of fabulous music. And I hope this inspires you to try some of it, because there's a lot. Take your time, but do try it. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.